Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio with your host, Mark Angelo Cummings. A show for trans folks by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Transition Radio, live from the land of enchantment, Silver City, New Mexico. And I'm Mark Angelo Cummings, your host. I wanted to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors, thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could imagine to enhance your feminizing needs. And Dr. Vartan Madirosian, he's a facial feminization specialist based out of Jupiter, Florida. Please visit our website at www.transitionradio.net and click on the banners to check them out and tell them Transition Radio sent you. Also, I want to thank and I want you to check our affiliates and advertisers, especially Katie Leon. She's a marvelous writer, and she has several books. And if you click on the banners, you'll go to the specific books that she has. I rotate her banner week after week. She has so many books and wonderful read. Also, queerworld.com, which is an LGBT business networking environment, providing a venue to develop and expand your trusted network of business professionals. By joining their site, you gain access to career advancement tools, a directory of the LGBT-friendly businesses and destinations, and the ability to showcase your business, products, or services, list jobs, and post your resumes. By supporting the LGBT community, we support you. United, we make positive local and global changes. Also, I'm going to start creating or actually announcing a GoFundMe of the month for individuals who have contributed to our community and are in need of our help in return. This first month is going to be a great friend of mine. His name is Tom Moore. He's an amazing human being. He's done lots for the community. He's been on documentaries. Visit the website and click on the link that will take you directly to his GoFundMe page. Tom needs help and lodging expenses. All right, so anytime you want to call in, please call in at 646-716-6895. Again, that's 646-716-6895. This is an interactive talk show, radio show. I want you guys to interact. There's a lot of important topics that I bring in week after week, and I would love to hear your experiences. So, who is your gender specialist? Many of us go to individuals we really don't know out of desperation because we want that letter. Do you really know how many years they've actually been treating transgender clients? The kind of rapport they have with their clients. Do they have any references? What makes a good therapist? A lot of us don't even think about these things because, again, it's just something that we do because we feel that we're lucky if we even find one. We are in desperation, as many are in desperation when they go to certain doctors. Turned out these doctors don't have that experience, and then we find ourselves in a bind. Do your therapist have good bedside manners? Or are they just very short with you? They're too busy. They can barely give you the time of day, and all they really want is your money. In the long run, it's going to come back and bite you. Do they look at the underlying issues, not just gender dysphoria? And I know at the moment we all want the same thing. We have tunnel vision. Please give me this letter so I could go to an endocrinologist, so I could get my hormones, so I could get my surgeries and be on the way. But are they taking care of these underlying issues? Many of us don't think of these things. And just like a horse, moving forward and just want the things that we want without looking at certain issues. Does your therapist have support groups? Or do they recommend that you go to certain support groups? Even after we transition, we are still in need of support. Many people have lost their friends and family. And so these support groups serve as a replacement for that connection that we have lost along the way. Are they affiliated with surgeons and endos? What good is it if they give you this letter and you have no clue where to go for your hormones or to have your surgeries done? Do they have any points against them on their license? Many of us don't realize that a background check is something that is very important. We want to know the kind of person that we are dealing with. It's not just them screening us, but us screening them. It's a relationship. And it should be a pretty long relationship. I see it too many times. You go, maybe you go 10 times, whatever the recommended time limit that the therapist sets, and then all of a sudden it's goodbye, good luck. Do they ever check back on their patients? How are you doing? How well did you transition? Are you having any problems? Do you have any suicidal thoughts after the fact? That is why so many people detransition, and not too many therapists are there to help. They need to provide these services at a rate that many of us could afford, because a lot of transgender people, let's face it, we don't have a job or barely making ends meet. And if you're going to go to a therapist that charges an arm and a leg, I know back in the day, I think mine charged $100 per session. And that adds up, and it gets very expensive. Insurances typically don't cover it, or many don't have insurance. So these are things that we're faced, and we need to really know our therapist. And I think gender specialists need to step up their game. They really do. And I would love to have a gender specialist. I had one in the beginning of Transition Radio, a dear friend of mine, Ana Gloria. But I would love to have several other gender specialists be on the radio or TV show, and so they could discuss these matters, with us, the listeners and the viewers. One of the things that really is becoming very hurtful to see is the continual suicide increase in the transgender community. Just recently, a transgender teen was killed when an Amtrak train hit him. What a way to go, Monday afternoon, this past Monday. And the officials ruled it as suicide. Officials said that Riley Matthew Moscatel, he's 17 years old, of Croydon, PA, stepped in front of the oncoming passenger train around 1:30 p.m. Monday afternoon. The train was traveling at nearly 120 miles per hour, and it was nearly a mile before it was able to come to a complete stop. Riley's mother, Christine Moscatel, told the Courier-County Times that Riley had been battling depression for 5 years. Things were just building up, and he just couldn't take it anymore, she said. He hid behind a mask. He had a mask for me, my husband, my son, my parents, everyone. He had a different face, but they were all happy faces. Riley was transgender, his mother said. He identified as being a boy by using the name of Riley Matthew with his friends and on social media. He went from so many different things that he didn't know what he was, and all of them added on to this depression. We were trying to accept it. We were dealing with it as best as we could. We supported him. Riley's father, Rich Moscatel, told the Trentium that he believes gender identity played a large role in Riley's suicide, and that he was also struggling with a couple of failed relationships. His senior year, he decided whether he was going to attend college or not. He did a really good job of masking his depression in front of people that he loved. We're still kicking ourselves as to what was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was dealing with a lot of pressures. The Moscatel said Riley began identifying as male as early as 3 years old when he cut off all his hair and he said he wanted to be a boy. That was our sign, but we didn't realize it until 10 years later. Christine said it's then started to manifest itself seriously. A year ago is when he began to identify as Riley. Now, note here that the editor actually changed the pronouns to reflect Riley's identity because I guess the family would still continue to use female pronouns. We're seeing this more and more each day, and the hiding of the feelings, it's something that is very alarming because if the person is not showing suicidal signs, it's hard to help them. And I could understand this because a lot of time, no matter how much pain I could be feeling inside, I try not to show it. Trying to be this strong, macho individual, I got everything under control type of situation. But it does catch up with you. For instance, today was a very, very hard day for me, and I think it had a lot to do with the weather. You know, it woke up raining, and it was kind of cold. And I don't like the rain, and cold weather kind of tends to depress me a bit. And being in this RV, it gets cold very quickly. So it just kind of all hit me. And I think I've been, like, hiding my emotions and my feelings for quite a long time, that today was one of the days that just kind of, like, got to me. And I've been feeling actually very physically ill. My stomach, my head, and things of that nature. Could be part of the breakup. It's finally just got to me, or I don't know, just several things that are going on, you know, concerned with finances and the whole 9 yards. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the Wikipedia hijack. Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia, has once again blocked all computers from the U.S. House of Representatives in order to stop malicious edits to popular pages on the site. According to The Hill, Wikipedia instituted a ban on Wednesday night after users operating from the House IP address made a series of anti-trans edits to the page for Netflix series Orange is the New Black. Anonymous users operating from the Republican-led House were persistently re-editing the page to slur trans actress Laverne Cox by misgendering her mentions on the show's page. For instance, they changed Cox's description from real transgender woman to real trans man pretending to be a woman. One user in particular went on an anti-trans editing spree, his week-changing entries on multiple pages related to transgenderism until Wikipedia administrators were forced to step in. An obvious transphobic is using this IP to edit the article on transphobia, The Hill quoted one Wikipedia user as saying, "I have no problem with congressional staffers editing Wikipedia," said another user to the anti-trans editor. "I have a problem only with you vandalizing Wikipedia." The person using the IP address responded without revealing their identity that the malicious edits were in fact official business endorsed by a member of the House. Their changes, they said, were intended to bring fairness to the discussion. There's nothing illegal about editing Wikipedia to promote official business that has been explicitly authorized by the representatives, the user wrote. When you have other representatives trying to push for laws such as the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, the user continued, or when you have the European Union using neocolonialist methods to impose transgenderism on the nation of Georgia through a visa agreement, it's all the more important. Wikipedia administrator Fran Rogers said that if the user would like to be unblocked, they can open an account with their name on it. That's pretty messed up. But, you know, that's what happens when you're able to go into a site like that and make the changes that you want, and there's a lot of lies being spread and a lot of mean-spirit things taking place, which is pretty sad in general. Our main topic for today is sex, the opening to our inner light. Many who try to become spiritually awakened are unaware that sex is essential for enlightenment. To awaken consciousness in its return to its origin is a long process, which cannot be done without using sexual energy and understanding sex and sexual desires. We have been taught that sex is bad. We have been taught that you could only have sex if you get married. You have to have a contract between you and the state, and in the eyes of the Lord, according to many, and it's bad unless you have it that way. And many don't know that sexual energy is a very healing energy, and it actually opens up a gateway to enlightenment. We can continue reading the article, the link is on today's show, and I will also put it on the YouTube version so that if you all want to read some more about it, and it'll be there for you. Not knowing about these desires is to be unaware of the creative power of life, and being enslaved by them is spiritually detrimental. To understand sex requires self-observation, participation in the process of enlightenment, and using sexual energy in the exercise of alchemy. This exercise has been referred to in many sacred texts and teaching as a Tantrism in Hinduism and Buddhism, alchemy in medieval Europe, Haikui, which means joining energy. In the Taoism of ancient China and the bridal chambers in early Christian text, alchemy symbols can be found throughout religious artwork and in every genuine esoteric teaching. For example, the sexual energy that is raised up the spine is known as Kundalini in Hinduism, and is depicted as a serpent in ancient Egypt, crowning the forehead of the pharaohs. The spiritual bodies created in alchemy are referred to as bodies of gold in ancient Egypt, and wedding garments by Jesus. The hermit glass of the alchemist and the Holy Grail are symbols of the feminine womb and sexual organs. The sexual energies were often symbolically referred to as water and wine, and have been alluded to as the waters of life. And baptism, depicting couples in spiritual intercourse, can be found throughout medieval alchemy texts and in Buddhism and Hinduism. Very few of these references are overt. Most are symbolic and only suggestive, which was done to protect a sacred and intimate practice known as the Holy of Holies. And here's where it all lies. It's things that were meant to be hidden from the average individual. So what do? They create fear so that people look at sex as something unholy and something dirty, and only in a sense of a reproductive need. Usually only given to those who have proven themselves pure enough from abuse and persecution by the profane and sexually degenerate. The following quotes from early Christian Taoist and Hindu texts refer to the practice of alchemy. If the woman had not separated from the man, it reads, she should not die with the man. And separation became the beginning of death. Because of this, Christ came to repair the separation, which was from the beginning, and again unite the two, and to give life to those who died as a result of the separation, and to unite them. But the woman is united to her husband in the bridal chamber. Indeed, those who have united in the bridal chambers will no longer be separated. To achieve the highest levels of life, one must continually combine new levels of yin and yang, because higher and higher unions of yin and yang are necessary for the conception of higher life. Some students may be instructed in the art of dual cultivation, in which yin and yang are directly integrated in the Tai Chi of sexual intercourse. On the surface, lust is a natural process that contributes to the reproduction of the species, but the process of enlightenment runs under the surface. It is hidden and esoteric, and again, as I mentioned in the previews, hidden things that they don't want us to know. So too are the process of sex when it comes to spirituality. The energy of the spirit, of consciousness, is sexual in its nature, but its energy is different to that of lust, and it's incompatible with it. You either have one or you have the other, but not both. So if you want to read more, which is a very interesting article, please go ahead and visit this blog link or the blog talk link to today's show, and you'll actually get to read the rest of the information. Really want to delve into stuff like this more. I want to talk about twin souls. I want to talk about so many things that we as a species have not been told, because they want to control us. They want us to believe what they want us to believe, and they don't want you to know the power you have within, the connection that you have to something higher. They want you to have a middleman. They want you to be fearful. They don't want you to empower yourself and realize that you have such capability, healing capabilities, that, yes, sex releases this major, wonderful spiritual energy that will allow you to open up your third eye, that will allow you to go into higher planes of knowledge and ascension. They just want to keep us dumbed down in this little matrix that we live in, making us go to institution from the time we're 5 years old, train us to believe what they want us to believe, to then enslave us in some sort of profession that is not for the good of mankind or womankind, but is good for the corporations and the religious and financial and political institutions that control the world that we are living in. They want us to be miserable, because how many people do you really know, and be honest with yourself, and you included, that are actually happy? We're living in a synthetic world, a life filled with lies, diseases, anger, war, and we're pretending that it is okay to live the way that we are living. Well, it's not. It's time for humanity to wake up, to stop believing the old ways and realize that there is something more to life than what we have been taught. We need to stop fighting one another. We need to stop being so neurotic. We need to start going within, into that place of light and love, into your heart chakra. I'm talking to you, every single one of you that is sitting here listening to me live, or going to be listening to me on demand. The time for change is now. We need to stop this unhealthy life that we are living, and we need to ask ourselves, there has to be more. What I've been told is all a lie. From this day onward, I want truth, I want life, and I want love. Repeat that to yourself day in and day out, and realize that we are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are the ones that we're going to create this change that needs to be created. We can't depend on our government. We can't depend on religious institutions. And we sure as heck can't depend on the financial institutions that are ripping us off from paying taxes, from all these corrupt things that goes on, and we just close our eyes and ears like the monkeys, hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. Enough is enough. The time for change is now. And I challenge you, every single one of you, to wake up and realize that it is up to us to create a change. Let us stop fearing and let us start loving, because fear and love cannot be in the same room, cannot hold the same space. And that is the battle between the demon and the angel that they talk about, is fear and love. So I challenge you to love, to eliminate fear, and trust in your higher self, in that inner voice that lies within that heart chakra, and it will guide you. And it won't be easy, because there's no such thing as perfection on this third plane. But we can do this. We can definitely create a change. Well, thank you guys for listening. I want you to realize that this Thursday there's going to be a change in showtime. It's normally 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but because our guest could not do it at the time, we are accommodating her. Her name is Paula J. Gonzalez. The show will be live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and on Gay Live television stream as usual. And the show is going to be a rebuke to Kathy Brennan's interview. There was a lot of commotion regarding that show, so I wanted to bring someone in who was going to be a bit neutral but also stand up for the trans community and talk about her feelings. And you guys are welcome to call in. Just go into the website and click on Paula J. Gonzalez's page and watch the show live, and the number will be placed on the screen for you to call that evening to share your views, thoughts, and concerns. Thank you so much, guys, for listening yet again. I want to thank all the sponsors, the advertisers, the affiliates. Thank all of you for listening and supporting the show. Please remember to click that donate button. No small amount is too small. I work hard week after week to bring you great guests, great topics of discussion. This is your show. Use it, your platform, to talk, to speak. You want to learn something, ask the questions on the show. That is what the show is all about. The higher good of all of us, not just transgender individuals, but humankind. We are all one. We are one species, one love. Let's never forget that. I'm going to end the show with one of my songs on my album, Enslaved. It's called I Want to Be Free. Free from this matrix, free from this world. And I just want to love, 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 and love you guys, but remember to always love yourselves too. Good night, and thanks again. Transmen on a Mission, signing out. Good night.
Encerrado en una cueva, solamente con un hueco para ver las mentiras que han dado y mi alma para mantenerme bien. ¿Cuántos años no han pasado con la misma situación? Somos solamente esclavos de esta organización, hermano. Quiero estar libre. Quiero poder volar. Déjame poder abrir mis alas. No me quiten más mi libertad. I wanna be free, like a bird up in the sky. I wanna be free. Let my wings begin to glide. I wanna be free from this matrix they provide. I wanna be free from the system and the lies. Esta tierra que pisamos, ellos no quieren quitar. Con sus leyes y paredes, esto me parece mal. Si este mundo es para todos, no hay un dueño individual. Que yo sepa, no hay una marca que diga mío no más. Imposible. Quiero estar libre. Quiero poder volar. Déjame poder abrir mis alas. No me quiten más mi libertad. I wanna be free, like a bird up in the sky. I wanna be free. Let my wings open wide. I wanna be free from this matrix they provide. I wanna be free from the system and the lies. Abran sus puertas, hermanos, junto con su corazón. No se olviden de su pasado. Cuando ustedes vinieron de otro lado, el que más billetes tenga, el que manda en realidad. Esto no es un comunismo, peor, es el gran capitalismo. Quiero estar libre. Quiero poder volar. Déjame poder abrir mis alas. No me quiten más mi libertad. I wanna be free from the matrix they provide. I wanna be free like a bird up in the sky. I wanna be free from the craziness and time. I wanna be free from the system and the lies. Oh, I don't know what it will take to change our lives, to change our ways, to bring all brothers to one side, to bring a union of all kinds. No more abuse, no more disgrace. We need to be in the same space. Wake up, my people, and look around. The rich are richer while we drown. I say, let's bring this matrix right down. Oh yeah, I wanna be free. Free. I wanna be free. Yeah, let me be free. Wanna be. I wanna be all free. I wanna be free. Wanna be free. Let's be free. Si la libertad es para todo el mundo, Dios mío.